Nobody gave you permission to hand a stranger your house keys and say, "Do whatever you want." Consider this your permission. I am standing in my own bedroom right now and I do not recognize it. Not because something went wrong, because something went completely, unexpectedly right. My neighbor Sarah walked into my home on a Monday morning with a list, a budget of $400, and zero hesitation. By Friday evening, I was crying in a doorway, staring at a room that finally felt like me. Not the version of me that shoves laundry under the bed before guests arrive, the version I have always wanted to be. And the wildest part? Every single thing she used, I could have bought myself. I just never did. This is the story of what happened when I stopped making excuses and let someone else see my home the way I was too embarrassed to see it myself. Let me take you back to February 14th. Not Valentine's Day in a romantic sense. Valentine's Day in the sense that my sister came over unannounced, looked around my living room and said, and I am quoting directly, "You live like this on purpose?" I laughed it off. I always laugh it off. But that night I sat on my couch surrounded by mismatched throw pillows, a coffee table covered in mail I had not opened since October, and a bookshelf that held exactly 0 books and 17 random objects I could not explain, and I felt it. That low, quiet shame that does not announce itself loudly, it just sits there. My neighbor Sarah lives 3 doors down. Her home is not a magazine cover. She is not an interior designer. She is a 34-year-old kindergarten teacher with 2 kids and a rescue dog named Biscuit. But every single time I walked through her front door, I felt calm. I felt organized. I felt like I wanted to stay. And I finally asked her, "What is your secret?" She laughed and said, "There is no secret. You just have too much stuff and not enough intention." That sentence lived in my head for 3 weeks. The swap was Sarah's idea. She proposed it on March 3rd over coffee. She would take my house keys for 1 full week. I would take hers. We each had a $400 budget. No rules except this. You could not ask for approval on any decision. Whatever you chose, you chose. I want you to feel what it is like when someone who loves your space more than you do gets to work in it. That was what she said. And I almost said no. Because the idea of someone seeing every corner of my home, the junk drawer in the kitchen that takes 2 hands to close, the bathroom cabinet where things have genuinely been falling out since 2021, the bedroom where I had been sleeping with boxes of Christmas decorations because I had nowhere else to put them, that was terrifying. But I said yes. Because the alternative was another year of closing doors when company came over. Another year of feeling like my home was something to apologize for instead of something to be proud of. I gave her the keys on a Sunday night. I drove away without looking back. And I did not sleep well that night, but not because I was scared, because for the first time in years I was actually excited about coming home. By Tuesday morning, Sarah had sent me exactly 7 photos. I had asked her not to send any. She did not listen, and I am grateful. The first photo was my kitchen counter. She had removed everything. Every single appliance, every random magnet, every stack of things I was definitely going to deal with later. The counter was empty. And I stared at that photo for 4 minutes. I did not know I owned a counter. I genuinely did not know what that surface looked like. Photo 2 was my entryway. She had taken the pile of shoes that had been living there since I moved in. I moved in 2019, and replaced it with 1 small wooden bench, a basket, and a single plant. That was it. I felt something shift in my chest looking at that photo, like something unclenched. Photo 3. I could not even identify the room at first. I had to zoom in 3 times before I realized it was my home office. She had taken a space I had been avoiding for 6 months, the space I always said I would get to eventually, and made it look like somewhere a person with their life together actually worked. I sat in Sarah's house that night, surrounded by her calm and her order, and I thought, why did I wait so long to want this for myself? Friday afternoon, 5:17 p.m. I pulled into my driveway and Sarah was standing on the porch with a cup of tea and an expression I could not read. She said, "Go inside. Start with the bedroom." I walked through the front door and the living room stopped me. Actually stopped me. I stood there for probably 90 seconds. The mismatched pillows were gone. The coffee table had 3 objects on it. 3. A candle, a small tray, and a book I had actually been meaning to read. The bookshelf had been edited down to things that mattered. Framed photos I had never gotten around to hanging were hanging. The room smelled like cedar and something clean. But the bedroom, The bedroom is where I cried. She had moved the bed to face the window. Such a small thing. But the light hit. It has been 6 weeks since the swap. I have not let a single surface go back to chaos, not because I am a different person, because I finally understand what Sarah meant by intention. Every object in my home now has a place. Not a perfect place, not an expensive place, just a place. The entryway bench gets used every single day. My kitchen counter stays clear, and I cook more now because the space invites me in instead of stressing me out. The bedroom is still the one that gets me. I wake up every morning in a room that feels like it was designed for rest, and I think about how many years I slept in that same space, feeling anxious and overwhelmed, and I just did not connect the two things. Your environment is not separate from how you feel. It is a direct input into how you feel. Sarah spent $400 total across my entire home. She found almost everything on Amazon: specific organizational tools, storage solutions, a few decor pieces that pulled rooms together without making them feel overdone. Nothing flashy, nothing expensive, just intentional. And the transformation is not about aesthetics. It is about finally giving yourself a home that matches. Here is what I know now that I did not know on February 14th when my sister made that comment. The chaos in your home did not happen because you are lazy or disorganized or incapable of having nice things. It happened because nobody showed you a system that actually works for real life. Not a Pinterest board life. Not a $10,000 renovation life. Your actual Tuesday morning getting kids out the door and groceries on the counter and mail coming in everyday life. Sarah is not magic. Her home works because she has a place for everything, and she was ruthless about removing what did not belong. That is learnable. I am proof. I am currently planning a second room because once you feel what it is like to walk into a space that makes you exhale instead of brace, you want every room to feel that way. And here is what is coming next on this channel. I am doing a full breakdown of every single product Sarah used, room by room, with exact prices and links. I am also doing a video on the one question she asked me before she started that completely changed how I think about every room in my home. Subscribe so you do not miss it. It is the question that will make you look at your space completely differently. I want to talk to you directly for a second. If you are watching this and you feel that low, quiet shame I described earlier, the one that shows up when someone rings your doorbell unexpectedly, or when you walk past a room you have been avoiding, or when you scroll past a beautiful home and feel something complicated that is part inspiration and part defeat, I want you to hear this. You are not behind. You are not a person who just does not have the home gene. You are someone who has not yet had the right permission slip or the right starting point. Sarah spent $400 in 1 week and changed how I feel in my own home every single day. I have linked every product she used in the description below. The exact Amazon finds, the storage tools, the small decor pieces that made the biggest difference. I have broken it down by room so you can start with just one space if the whole thing feels overwhelming. Start with your bedroom. Start with your... Before I go, if this video gave you even one moment of that this could be my home feeling, hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find this content, and honestly, it took me 6 weeks of living in a transformed space before I felt ready to share it, so knowing it reached you means a lot. Drop in the comments the one room in your house that you would hand over to a Sarah if you had one. I read every single comment and I respond to as many as I can, and if you are new here, welcome. This channel is about building a home that actually feels like yours. Not a showroom, not a stress trigger, yours. Subscribe and come back Thursday when I am dropping the full product breakdown with prices. Everything under $50. Everything actually worth buying. Links are in the description right now if you want to get started before then. I will see you in the next one. Disclaimer. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing constitutes professional advice of any kind.